In this video, I'm going to show you how to create the widget code for your Mindbody class schedule and how to add it to your Squarespace 7.1 website. So to get started, you need two tabs open. The first is your branded web manager, and you can log in there at brandedweb.mindbodyonline.com. It'll look something like this once you get logged in. You may or may not have these green boxes, but you'll see your business name up at the top left and then widgets, links, and site settings. The other tab you're going to want to open is your Squarespace website. So let's start in your branded web manager, specifically under the site settings. This is where we're going to add who powers your website. You can add that if you want to, it doesn't really matter. But this branding, this is where we're going to set your brand colors in so that you don't have to reset them every time you create a widget. Say you had red as one of your primary colors. You could just click that and you kind of fine tune your red, or if you have the hex codes from your brand designer, you can type those right in and it will set your branding up. So once we have the basic branding in there, also under site settings, if you do need to invite a user, this is where you can invite a user. I don't have it right here, but there will be an invite if you're the owner on the site. So if you need to invite your web designer or developer, you can do that here under site settings as well. Okay, so once we have the colors set, we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and hit save. And that's going to save our site branding settings. So now let's go over to widgets. Okay, this is where we're going to create the widget code for our schedule widget. But first, let's head over to our Squarespace website and let's get ready to add that. So we're going to go into website pages. And this is a Squarespace 7.1 website. If you do have an older version of Squarespace 7.0, which is like 2020 or before, it works the same way. This Mindbody integration will work the same way. Things just might be a little different. Your little expansion arrows on the left, for example, but you should be able to follow along. Okay, so let's get a page ready to add this. So I'm going to, in the main navigation, I'm going to click the plus arrow to add a new page. And I'm just going to start with a blank page. I'm going to name it class schedule. You can name it whatever you want. And then now we have a blank page. While I'm here, I'm just going to hit the page settings and just double check that the page title, navigation title, and the URL slug look good. You can rename that URL slug if it's something like class schedule 6 or new page 4 or something like that. You might want to just make that something that's easy to say because this is a pretty important page on your website. So we want that to be something that's obvious and logical. Okay, so we have our blank page on Squarespace. We're going to click edit into the page, add a section, and you could add a header and some other things ahead of it. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to add a blank section. And we're going to get ready to add the schedule widget. So I'm going to add a block next, and then I'm going to add a code block. So if you scroll down, you see where it says code. So I'm going to click the code block. You can see it adds a little code block there. Because we don't want our schedule to show up just little tiny over here in a little tiny box, I'm going to go ahead right now and just stretch that to be the full width of the page so that we can get our schedule in nice and big and clean. And it's the main featured item of this page. Then I'm going to click edit into that code block, and you'll see the little hello world as a placeholder. So I'm going to delete that text. So now I have an empty code block on the page. All right, so let's pause right there and go back to our branded web account, and let's create the code for our class widget. So under widgets, I'm going to go create new widget, and I'm going to choose schedule widget. It's going to, by default, create a new schedule widget with my brand colors and with, which are not obviously the brand colors of that website. I didn't think that one through, but it's got brand colors in it and it's the new styling by default. You can, I would encourage you to name this widget just to begin with so that your branded web account doesn't get to be a total mess. So let's do widget demo 2025. Okay, you name it whatever you want. You can then fine tune any of these colors. So say you're like, don't really like buttons. I actually want it to be more of this brand color. Maybe you have purple in your brand color as well, and that goes better. So you can override it. It's still going to keep your site-wide site settings with that red, but you're like, for this page, I want it to be purple. Great, and we have it purple. And then the secondary color is black. Let's just see where that changes it. You can see where the red changes it here and it changes it there. So that's not too terrible. Let's maybe make that like a blue. Okay, that matches our site a little bit more, but you can keep that black as well. And then background on the site, in this case, it's white. If we go over to this site, let me just grab that lavender color so I can show you how you can design it. Okay, so now we have a background color. So now that's going to look really smooth on the page of the site, which happens to be a purple site. That's a little ridiculous purple, but anyway, this is not a design class. This is a branded web class. So, okay, let's say we like the way that all looks. So you can see how you can kind of mess with it there. The other option you have is to change the text on the buttons for these. So it's default to book. But if I wanted to choose sign up instead or register, or even you could type in some custom text. So we'll just go sign up just so it's different. And if you click the content tab, you have the option to choose a future start date for this widget. So that would be really handy if you haven't opened yet and you're just getting ready, but you know your grand opening weekend is in 6 weeks. You can set it to a future date to show the grand opening. So then it's not going to show a bunch of empty days before then. That's also really handy if you're doing like an open house or like a series class or something, and you're creating a widget just to put on that page. So you don't want people to say, you don't have to tell people scroll through 3 weeks until our open house. You can actually just set the widget to start at that future date and just show that weekend for that open house. So that's handy to have. Also, if you select schedule contents, you can further customize what information gets shown on this widget. So if you go class type, only the following class types, say we didn't want virtual fitness to be on there. If we just select all the in-person and all the boot camps, it's going to filter out our whole virtual fitness category. Further, you could go to instructor and you could only say certain instructors, or if you have more than one location, you'll have this location tab. If you only have one location, you won't see this, but you could filter to only show one location as well. So you have some options on what gets shown on this widget. So if we hit apply, this is one of the really nice things about Mindbody. They do give you flexibility to build these widgets in different ways so that you can put them on different pages and make it really easy for your clients to get to what they want. Okay, so we have our widget built. It's looking pretty good. It's very purpley, but say we like it and we like the content that's on it, we're going to hit save and deploy. And then we're going to copy this code. So you just click the copy. You can also highlight copy if that makes you feel better, but we're just going to copy this code. You don't need to know what it's doing, what it is. You just want to copy it and have it on your clipboard. So then we're going to head back to our website that we already have prepped. We've got this empty code block in. We're going to click in this empty code block and we're going to paste that code that you just copied. You do need to be on a core plan in Squarespace to use this. This is a free trial account now, so it is going to work for me. But ultimately, when your trial expires, you are going to need to be on a Squarespace core plan or higher where you can use code blocks in order to make this work. So if we hit save and exit, and then the page refreshes, you can see there's our nice little widget and it matches our site-ish, kind of. But at least the background color matches, and I could fine tune those colors as well too. So that's all there is to it to get your Mindbody widget on your website. If we go up and preview in mobile view, you'll see that the widget is mobile responsive and Squarespace sites are mobile responsive. So it'll look pretty good on mobile as well. You don't have to do any extra changes to it. It'll naturally just adapt for different screen sizes. So that's how you add a Mindbody class schedule widget to your Squarespace website. If you've got more questions about troubleshooting these widgets or the different widgets that you can use, follow along. There's more videos coming along in this series on integrating Mindbody with Squarespace. Thanks.